Hello everyone and welcome to Hutan Pentai on Farming Simulator 25. We're going to be taking a look at the map and the starting farm and what you get with it, as well as diving into some of the production chains and other things, and I'm going to be giving some commentary about what's going on. There is no car better than this for this map, but it is a little slow. It's just basically a motorbike, so we're going to be using it, but I might have to do some jump cuts so we don't spend forever driving around. So we're going to head left out of the starting farm once we check it out and just kind of follow the highway system around the map, trying to see a few of the highlights, among those being the mountain town over here, the big city over here, and the temple area, I believe. Yes, the temple up here. So, as promised, the starting farm. You start with the Ezeki rice harvester, Ezeki rice planter, a Massey Ferguson harvester with the header and header trailer, Agco White 8510. You've got a John Deere 980 cultivator, the Great Plains 4.6 meter seeder, a Lizard Dragon, and of course the Ape 50. In terms of fields and farmland, we've got 27 up here, which starts out as a plowed piece of land. We've got a cultivated field 28, and then 3 ready to harvest rice fields down in here. And some of the prices around you would be 270,000, 200,000, 130,000, 400,000, and then some of these fields go for around 120,000 to 150,000. So you can easily get to some of the fields around you. Most expensive field on the map would be Field 2 at $500,000, although there are a few really close to it as well. Biggest field is 20 acres. The biggest field you start out with would be 27, which is 4.75 acres. Excellent. Kind of the vibe of the farmyard is, well, it's East Asian, just like the map is set. This is a really beautiful house that we've never seen before. Got your silos over there. There's field 27, as I said, the plowed one. And there's a few useless buildings, some NPCs walking around as well. I think that's your grandpa right there and his helper Ben or something like that. I like these little tiles here. It's pretty cool. The way it's set up is nice. You got like some tables over here for some tea time or whatever. Little swing. And I like the various pots and plants and everything outside the house. We've got a greenhouse right here. This grows 2 different variations of mushrooms. All it needs is water. These 2 buildings here are useless. We have a 3rd greenhouse somewhere. I don't remember exactly. Oh, there it is. This is what grows your rice saplings. So instead of having to put seeds in your rice planter, you just put water in this greenhouse and it will grow rice for you. And then you get pallets of it that's set up right there. Here's one of your rice fields. And then the other 2 are kind of down here. It's a nice little terrace design. I like it. See, these rocks kind of act like the terrace. And then down here is a more man-made terrace as well between the 3 fields. I like this aesthetic. It's very nice, very pleasing to have 3 different layers, but it's maybe not the most convenient to work on. You've got this tiny little shed for your rice harvester. I wish we had more shed space, though, because almost everything is just sitting out in the open. And in real life, you'd have rain and wind and everything wearing on your equipment, rusting it out, and I don't like that. Not sure if rust is a big issue in this area of the world, but still. The ground looks pretty good. It's not perfectly monotonous. Like, there's grass growing through the cracks over here. There's some piles of broken pieces of gravel and whatnot over here. It just doesn't look super uniform. We've got some tracks there, which is nice. Yeah, it's definitely a good-looking farmyard. Probably my favorite that I've ever seen from a Farming Simulator base game map. Alright, as promised, we're going to drive around. I don't know how in the world my dude fits in this thing. As you can see, I am much taller than it. But whatever. Probably only going to go like 20 miles an hour. It doesn't sound very pleasant, does it? We might have to change the car we're in. Alright, if you ignore that horrendous noise, my motorbike. You'll see we've got some nice tree-filled hills, and this field is on quite the incline here. This little valley looks pretty nice. We've got water features all around this map. You can see on the PDA it's mostly in the bottom, but we've got, again, rivers and little streams all over the place. The dock area in the city looks pretty cool. I think we're going to head up the map this way, and we'll get to the city. That's where we'll end off the map tour. We're also going to take a look after the map tour at things like the vehicle shop, the production chains around, and other things like that. So as you can see, we've got a nice cliffside road with some beautiful little islands and everything. I mean, that rocky island over there looks fantastic. And at a distance, these trees almost look like painting strokes because of the way that the foliage fuzzes out. I think that looks fantastic. The road is definitely way too perfect and uniform. It would have more cracks and everything on the sides with the dirt coming up on it, and it just looks way too perfect. I don't like the way that the map just kind of ends on the horizon. I wish there was a better way to do that. I understand it's a lot of work, but still, it would be nice to see. And then if we wanted to, we could come down here, and it's even more of a cliffside road. This will go right alongside the shoreline down here. I like all the rocks on the sides. They look fantastic. That's a word I'm going to use a lot because this map, from what I like early looks, this one looked to be my favorite. It's actually the one I'm going to be doing my playthrough on, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. This kind of road, this looks cool. We've got foggy, like, sun rays coming down, spilling over the top of that cliff. I've got rocks right next to me. It's just a good looking aesthetic. Let's get back up to the road where I was. So here out in front of us, we do have that big mountain that the mountain town is on. You can kind of see it up at the top and middle of our screen. But here on the right is, I think this is the valley, sort of, that has all the big fields on it. We're going to zoom way out. Dang, this thing has a huge field of view. So kind of, as far as the eye can see, is all big fields on the map. Well, can't see anything right there. We've got some wheat ready to be harvested right here. I am going to have to turn right here because the road just kind of goes up and out. And we're going to go up ahead and see this mountain town. But this road that we're on here, the way that the roads are set up, this kind of middle section of the map, let me just show you with my mouse here. This middle section of the map has a lot of roads around it. This is kind of like the central farming area. We've got some satellite colonies of fields around, but this is the main brunt of it. There's a elevated train track that runs all the way through, which looks pretty good. And then there's a highway system with a tunnel that we're definitely going to have to go through later, all the way through the map, which is pretty cool. I think Elm Creek from Farming Simulator 22 is the first Farming Simulator map to have like a proper US style highway, and apparently this Asian map has a very similar style highway. I don't know if that's how they do it in Asia, but these are the biggest fields. Directly in front of us is field 2. That's the biggest. There's many others that are as big or nearly as big as well. And right here is the grain mill, I believe. Oh, I was supposed to take that. My bad. I think this is the grain mill. No, this is the shop. Sorry. That's the vehicle shop. So here we go on this elevated road going up into the mountain. I can't really show the slope very well. I mean, I guess that shows it decently. We've got these tiny little paths all around. Got some warning signs. Cool little rice growing in terraces there. Probably can't fit a tractor on there to harvest that, I would imagine. But this is kind of the area that this vehicle was made for, I feel. This is a beautiful little mountain town. Careful about the gullies here. You will Get your tire way down in there. And it's easy to get stuck, apparently. But just look at the detail on these homes. They're kind of simple, but all the detail they have is in the right way. It's such a unique art style that we haven't seen in Farming Simulator before, or many sandbox games. And like, that's just amazing. This winding road, we've got trees all over. The nice contrasting colors, white base, brown pillars, black roof with orange fencing around. This is just a beautiful dynamic. And I don't think that car is doing it justice, really. You kind of have to walk around and see it. I mean, there's so many stories that you can hatch out in all of these individual houses, and they're everywhere. There's so much detail here, and it's a place that only has one thing of importance for the actual farming aspect of the game. You drop off your stuff right here at the restaurant. You could go around up there and sell it, but they made all these roads going through the town to show detail and to build the aura of the map. It's not just a farming map. You can walk around and have a genuine good time. Not that I'm saying I will, but I am right now, and it's fantastic. There's that word again. I'm not sure exactly what these stairs are doing. Kind of a steep drop off there from the road directly into the stairs. They probably should have just kept that flat with the edge of this culvert here, but I'm not going to judge their architectural skill. These places are awesome. We don't see this kind of architecture really in America, so it's nice to be able to walk around and see. I mean, these houses are quite obviously a facade, like there's nothing going on inside. But the way they do the three-dimensional, two-dimensional windows is kind of trippy. Walking by, it looks really weird. I'm not sure if that's quite showing up on the camera. There's just so much variety in these houses. I mean, this is white stone with bricks, and this over here, this has got a black, like, stone tile roof. This one has a blue tiling roof. Like, the paint, not paint, but the color options they have, these are definitely not just like 5 or 6 different houses that are copied and pasted throughout the map. Okay, that's a little rough on the terrain there, Giants. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be driving that. That's very steep, but still. These aren't just like 5 or 6 different houses that are placed in random order. I haven't seen 2 duplicates yet. I mean, it's great. Obviously, some of the styling is the same, but I think there's still great variety. Yeah, this place looks really cool. I do want to go up and check out the restaurant, so I'm going to run up this path here. Scratch that. I'm going to go ahead and drive. We've already walked around and seen the town right up close and personal. These hills are steep. I mean, look at that. It's properly 30-degree incline nearly, which is insane. I like that they're yield signs, so I don't need to stop. Oh, shoot. I may be stuck. Nope, okay. Yeah, really watch out for those drains, because they're tough. Okay, I'm going to walk up these steps here, because these are a pretty cool spot. Vending machines and a little cafe thing right by the stairs, that's cool. I don't know if these are the stairs on the map. I think there might be a really big set of stairs over by the temple. Like this right here. But I could be wrong. It'd be nice if we could get an animation for climbing the stairs instead of taking one step every, like, 5 steps on the staircase, but that's okay. Okay, where is the restaurant? Right here. Okay, so you dump your grain just right here, I guess. I don't know what you dump off at the restaurant. But it is a tip station, so I think you'd sell grain here. I guess that's it there. I don't really see a restaurant anywhere. This just looks like a house. It is up on a terrace, though. Look at that. That's pretty steep. Oh, wow. You can see the fields way off in the distance. That's cool. And the mountain peaks and everything. Man, this map just has a better vibe to it than Riverbend Springs does, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed. This doesn't look like a restaurant. It looks like a house that we've already seen. I don't really see anything nearby that would be a restaurant. We got a nice little gazebo thing up here. Yeah, this place is really cool. Okay, let's go ahead and drive up to the top left corner of the map. And then I'm going to ride the highway all the way over to the city, I guess. Got a tight little sidewinder road here, serpentining down the side of the mountain. This is definitely a cool spot, though. This whole section of the map is awesome. And there's never been anything like this in a Giants software-made map. This is a genuine first of its kind. We got some production chain down there, and the highway system, and some fields in the background. I mean, this is just epic. There's no need for a farming map to look this good. Also, be careful with the size of equipment you're using on this map, because I don't think you're going to get much up here in this area. Granted, there's not really any fields up here, but this would be a good spot for forestry. So, the forestry machines are quite large, so be careful with what you're bringing. Whoa! What is this? I have genuinely not been over here, so that street sign either got knocked down by a car driving by and clipping it, or it just... Giants made a whoopsie and it spawns in the middle of the road. That's interesting. So that's probably the first little bug I've found on this map. If a traffic car hits it, that's also Giants' fault because they put it too close to the road, or they made the traffic cars go too far off the road to hit a sign. So, but this area looks really cool. I wonder if this is like a train station type of thing. What's this called? So you can rent the train here, neighboring town. Oh, come on, you can't name it. Give it a name like they did in Farming Simulator 22. The train sell point always had a name instead of just neighboring town. And that was the sawmill we saw earlier. Got some sell points here. I don't know what the deal with these NPCs is. I might get into that with my playthrough. I don't know what they are. Grain mill is down here. Okay. Yeah, we got some smaller fields up here in this corner. Again, we're going to get on the interstate system here and just drive. We'll see what that tunnel looks like, and we'll go up to the temple as well. And then end in the city, as I've said a couple times. I'm sorry for repeating myself. Whoa! Traffic cars have no collisions again. They just ran through each other. This area looks pretty good. Wow. And you see, yes, traffic, they will pass each other. Kind of caught that. See? He passes me like that. Which is cool. I mean, they're kind of really aggressive with it, though. I mean, they're definitely got to be speeding. Flying around blind corners like that. They're a minimum speed. Temple, the docks, and Hutan Pentai City. I'm gonna guess there's a speed limit, and I'm gonna be well under it. Or a speed minimum, sorry. 50. I don't know if that's the max or the minimum. Surely not the maximum. That's only like 25, 30 miles an hour. Okay, I feel like to truly appreciate this highway interstate thing, I'm going to need a better car. So I'm going to go ahead and get one and bring it back up here. Okay, that's better. We got our red Skoda Kodiaq RS, capable of much higher speed. This is the grain mill here. It's quite large. It's like $300,000. Last FS22 it was like 60 or 80,000. The production chains are significantly more expensive in this game. Whoa. Kind of hard to control this thing, isn't it? Got a gas station there, the elevated train tracks I was telling you about, and then this tunnel, which is pretty cool. Got a gigantic wall, retaining wall there along the curve. And then got a biogas plant on the left, which looks the same as Riverbend Springs. Another tunnel, and these all go towards Hutan, Pentai. I guess this goes... I want to see if there's a way to get out, because this is the edge of the map. This tunnel here. And it's not going to let me go through, obviously. In fact, it kind of glitched me into the floor a little bit. The only way to get out is to... Yeah, I'm having some issues here. You can see it's kind of glitched my tires through the floor, so they're flipping into the floor just on this left side here. It may be better now. Yep, okay, sweet. So, I guess be careful hitting invisible walls, because you will regret it. My point being, the only way to... If you miss this exit ramp here on my left, I'm going the wrong way, obviously. If you miss that exit ramp, the only way to like, get off the highway is to turn around and go against the flow of traffic, like I am right now. So, pardon me, my traffic. I'm going to go up to the exit just before the tunnel so I can go up to the temple. I wish it was... Uh-oh. Sorry, traffic. I need to turn you off. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay. Here is the road up to the temple, so I'm going to try and take it easy. We've got some nice lily pads on the water. That looks beautiful. I'm sure this red is just meant to indicate a corner. That's not a bad idea. A nice little waterfall here. It's pretty. You see, there's nothing farming about this image right here, but it really helps with the environment of the game. I think they may have gone a little too overboard in environment and didn't improve the farming enough, so some people may be irritated at that. I did some rice harvesting in my playthrough, which I've already recorded, but I haven't posted yet. It'll come out after this. And the rice harvesting textures are not the best. A little insulting, actually. I would have rather gotten 1 or 2 crops that was done super well, rather than 5 new crops that aren't done amazingly. But it's okay. The game looks really good. I just think they could have spent more time developing the actual agricultural side of things, because, you know, it is farming simulator, not environment simulator. But still, it's great. Worth it in my book, for sure. Okay, so it looks like the temple obviously isn't here. We need long planks, 6,000 liters of it, and 6,000 liters of cement bags. That may be the only area. Yeah, so these buildings will get built as you build them. They're not here to start with. It would be nice if there was an option you could select to just, like, start with it instead of having to build it. But you could see all the little platforms around And that's kind of the main platform there, so I'd imagine that's where the main building goes. We've got this really good looking koi pond thing here with these elevated bricks that you can walk across. That's awesome. Oh, I fell. I am interested to see what this area does for us. I mean, it's, again, nothing to do with farming. It's a temple. But it is cool to have it. And it's something else you can build. So I'm not annoyed that it's here. Plus, I think this general vibe of an area is really cool when it's done well. I mean, I have a Lego bonsai tree right next to my desk with the sandy pebbles just like this floor I'm standing on right here, and the cherry blossoms just like what I assume the trees would look like when they're blooming in this area. So I obviously like that style of botany and artwork. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to be able to build something like that. I haven't done it yet, obviously, so the jury's still out on whether or not I think it's a worthy addition to the game, but it's cool. There's a frog chirping, I think. Alright. Sorry for having the gigantic mini-map open. I don't know where I'm going. I haven't played this map enough. I'm going to go ahead and... yeah, we'll hop back on the interstate highway thing. I'll call it a highway, not an interstate. It's not really an interstate. It looks good, though. The elevated ramp definitely looks good. Although, going at high speed in Farming Simulator physics doesn't really feel the best, and it's kind of hard to control. The road is smooth, though. There's no, like, clipping, except for that back wall. Obviously, we hit the invisible wall, but, like, even in Forza Horizon, which is a racing game, if you fly down the highway at max speed, your car will bounce weird sometimes and fly up in the air with no warning. So they've done well with their road work, I guess. We've got another tunnel. This one's kind of on a downhill. That's pretty cool. And here's the city. We're going to start with the industrial side with the ports / dock area. Got these giant crane things that are around. I don't think they ever move, but that's pretty cool. And then we've got some giant boats out in the water and right here. I don't know if you can drive any boats, but they're here. Here's a crane. We're going to go ahead and drive under it, because why not? Look at this. These wheels are almost the size of me. Okay, that's actually scary. I don't really want to be under this giant container thing that could fall on me. The odds of it happening are very, very small. The odds of it happening, though, are not zero, and the longer you spend underneath that thing, the higher your chances of getting crushed. This is a cool little area. Whoops. What is this? So this factory here is the canning factory that we were just at. Right here is a sell point called Dairy, and it doesn't look like it's a production chain. We've also got the carpentry right ahead of us. Oil mill is even beyond that, and then the sugar mill is a very large area. Here's the oil mill, kind of this squat little building right here. Sorry, what was this? This wasn't the oil mill, this was carpentry. Then directly in front of us is the oil mill, which is quite large. This whole area here. And then directly beyond that, after the intersection, is the sugar mill. And that is a pretty cool vibe. all this stuff here. Nice beachfront tourism area. Yeah, that's cool. And then on our left we have a massive tanker ship. I wanna come out here and see this thing. There are traffic lights at the intersections. They do turn over from green to red and red to green, but they take forever, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably just gonna run them all. Is there anywhere for us to control this? So there's a tipping point harbor grain elevator here on the other side. So you unload here, but I don't see any way for us to like control the boat. And it is showing up on the map, whereas the other one is not. So this, unfortunately, it's set in stone. I don't think it's gonna move. I think there was a trailer that showed it moving and showed it filling with grain or something like that, and that kind of had me wondering if we'd get to drive it. Yeah, those are giant grain compartments. There's 5 of them. And it's got the unloader spout and everything. But yeah, sadly it doesn't look like we'll get to drive that thing around, unfortunately. Got a nice bridge too, right on the other entrance to town, or one of the other entrances. Here's a cool little park. I guess I'll walk through that. A nice vibe. It's a big tree right there. Yeah, a few gazebos, some umbrellas, little sandbox, and play set. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, now if we kind of go through the main part of town, I'm going to go ahead and turn right. And then these are one-way streets. That looks like it's blocked off, but look at that. Just that explosion of color in there. That's so cool. Again, this does not need to be in a farming simulator map, but it is, and I respect it. It's cool. There's another do not enter, little alleyway there. People walking around. The place feels decently alive. I guess I did turn off traffic, so I want to see what that would look like if it's on. Okay, and this is another do not enter alleyway. I probably shouldn't have started where I did. There's a bunch of that looks like somewhere that'd be fun to walk around in. It looked like it kind of turned the corner, but I don't know if it just ends. We've even got the rumbling sounds of air conditioning. Dude, this is cool. Tiny little alleyways you can walk through. It's like a maze. All the little funny advertisements. How about some good soup? Bob's Bongos. Spinach makes you strong. Got some Popeyes references up in here. Popeye the Sailor Man. Look at all of these signs, man. This place is crazy. This does not need to be in a farming simulator map. There are some repeats. You can see the sign, the big, long, tall sign next to me. Scoop Haven is also up and left on the far, and it's also right above my head right now. And then again, right up here, right above my head. So, a lot of repeats. They could have gone through and done unique signs for all of them, but there's really no need for that at all. This is just, it's a cool atmosphere, as has been the running theme on the map. Got some bubble instead of boba. It's awesome. You could genuinely walk around and feel like they made this map to just walk around in. Obviously, there's nothing to do, so you couldn't do that for very long, but this place is really cool. Can I go in here? No? Okay. I feel like the only way that makes sense to go from here is to let us walk in these buildings and stuff and like iron plow. Psh. Let us walk into these buildings and have actual interiors where you can go and bargain with people to sell crops or whatever. Obviously, it's a farming game, so I don't know how much the bartering would be, but we've got NPCs now, so imagine if you could just go in and talk to a store owner, get some snacks, and mention something about, I don't know, your fields. There's no need for it, but there's no need for the city either, and they put it in, so I think it'd be cool. Yeah, this place is just super neat. Or maybe if you could, like, deliver, like, you could get in your little truck like this, load it with your whatever products, canned soup or fizzy drinks or whatever, and deliver them to different shops around the city. That'd be pretty cool. This place just, it feels awesome, man. And there's not much to do in the city except see it. But I think it's still really cool. And then here on the outskirts, we've got a bakery production chain right there, Robin's Bakery, and then some more houses. These look pretty similar to each other. All the blue roofs, pretty much. And then if we continue on this road, we will go right by all of the biggest fields on our way. Oh, sorry, here's the canal. Yep, I forgot to mention that. It looks pretty cool. Doesn't really have a use, but yeah, it's cool. This road will take us by all the biggest fields on the way back to the starting farm. This is the largest field here. It's got some corn or something on it. It's big, but I'd like to see bigger. And I guess you could maybe plow a couple of these fields together to make something pretty large. But that's always been something that the base games maps have had. That's just been an issue. It's not an issue for everyone. I love gigantic fields that take hours upon hours to do anything in. But I also love the small stuff, so it's nice that they have really small fields and medium-sized fields. I just like that they had some big fields too. Ha! You can get air on that jump. That's awesome. Okay, so there's the map tour done. Next, we need to talk about the production chain. So if we come here, this tab right here will actually show you all of the production chains you own, which again are those 2 greenhouses I mentioned earlier, and then all of the ones available on the map. So the list on Riverbend Springs was actually longer because there were more production chains. But this will tell you, I feel like this is much, much better than FS22. It'll tell you what's on the map and what it does to a T, what you need to put in, what you get out. It's awesome. So we've got the bakery, biogas plant, canning factory, which has a lot of new things new to FS25. So we've got, obviously, canned peas, jarred green beans, spinach bags, rice box, rice bag, and another disclaimer. I think this is another issue. They call these rice bags, and they also call these rice bags, but right here, it says rice bag in the output. But if you check on this first one, it says rice rolls. So I think these are supposed to say rice rolls, long grain rice, rice rolls, rice, and then these are rice bags and rice box, because yeah, it says what it says here matches up with right here on like every single thing except for the rice bags here. They're supposed to be rice rolls. Anyways, carpentry, grain mill, which has been added, rice flour and rice. Long grain rice flour and rice flour, sorry. Oil mill has added the different rices to it as well. It's got a spinnery. It doesn't have a tailor shop, so you can't make clothes unless you buy it yourself and place it down, which you can do. I believe. I actually haven't tried. Construction. We go to factories. Again, they are much, much more expensive. Let me see one that we definitely had in Farming Simulator 22. Grain mill, yeah, $288,000. It's not even that big. This was $80,000 in Farming Simulator 22. The oil mill was like $100,000. It's $240 now. So no more can you just cheaply buy a production chain right at the start. Although they do have really small oil mills, don't they? Okay, what is this? A sugar mill, a teeny tiny little sugar mill. A really small spinnery for 36 grand. Really small sawmill. So maybe you can buy these and just place them down right on your farm. I'm going to guess they're going to have a way slower production rate than the ones already on the map, the giant factories that you can buy. But yeah, I mean, you could get most of the base game things. A grain mill? What the heck? That's really cool. I didn't notice that. So yeah, there you have it. You can indeed have almost every single production chain as a very small unit. Again, I think it'll go really slow compared to the bigger factories, but hey man, if all you can do is these small fields that you start out with, you know, you start out with these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that's all the field you have, you don't need a giant factory. You could just use that tiny little stand. So that's really cool. So I would say production chains are undoubtedly better than in 22, and they've made it much more comprehensive and advanced. There's much more stacking and different ways you can go with it. So now we're going to go to the shop, and I like to do a little test that's not super important, but I just like to do it, where I see how big the spawn area is. I have a habit of just hopping on a random map, buying like $5 to $10 million worth of equipment and farming just for fun, no reason at all. And it's much more convenient when I can have it all spawn in at the same time. So in order to illustrate the size, I like to use slurry tankers. Now, Riverbend Springs blew any map I've ever tested out of the water. I got 34 of these giant tankers in there. I'm going to press the X button a bunch of times, and we'll see how many fit when it says delivery space blocked. Well, that's not a good sign. It already says delivery space blocked. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Only 10. So that is less than a third the size of Riverbend Springs shop area. That's going to be plenty of space for your normal stuff, but if you're getting like 4 harvesters and 2 giant air seeders and a bunch of cultivators and a bunch of tractors and sprayers and everything all at once, it's not all going to fit. For the most part, you'll be just fine. I mean, that's plenty of room. Anyways, I just thought I'd check that out. So as far as the map goes, I think this is amazing. It's my favorite map, certainly between Riverbend Springs and, I mean, I guess Zilanka is also an option, but between the 3 base game maps, this destroys Riverbend Springs, in my opinion. There's so much unnecessary details that shows that Giants they put effort into it, which I like to see again. It might be nicer to see that effort into other things that have more to do with the agriculture. I mean, I think the graphics definitely look better, but why couldn't we get row crop sorghum and row crop corn where it actually follows the line your planter goes instead of just being a perfect texture that looks the exact same for every crop? Instead of ground deformation is actually really good. But instead of plowing being just a texture with ground deformation, yes, if it could actually be perfect, like if you plow at a perfect 67-degree angle, if the plowing furrows followed your plow exactly. Instead, they're going to go at like a 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle, and it's going to look weird. Because Giants just doesn't have that as a feature right now. I would like to see that. Also, I don't know if placeables are a thing. Uh-oh. Well, I found a farm ball. That answers that question. $10,000. There's 25 of them, so that's 250 grand you can get. I'm sorry if I just spoiled that location. I spoiled it for myself too. I didn't mean to find that. I was just going to talk about them, but now I'm kind of curious as to where they are. I was going to say, if they're in the map, they're much harder to spot than in 22. But yeah, I love the map. It's awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you next time. Peace.